Well, thank you very much. Let me say good morning to our viewers and to all of us on the program. We live within the international community, whether we like it or not, and we want to say that anything that affects one particular economic zone would directly have an effect on us in the continent and also in the sub-region. The reason being that as countries, we become a bit more import dependent, and also the little that we have, we also export it to those areas in order to get the necessary foreign exchange. And as such, we are not an island, so whether we like it or not, that will have an impact on us. If nothing at all, it will have an impact on our people who are living in those areas, whether for educational purposes, for social purposes, and for economic gains. So it is not something that we should take it lightly. I don't envy our colleagues who are
in the Middle East.
Yes, doing the diplomatic services for this country at this particular time. Because 24/7, you have to be up monitoring the life and activities of Ghanaians domiciled in those areas to see how you can give them the necessary support they need or they require in order to be able to be safe. So what is going on is not something that any Ghanaian should sit and think that it is the people in the Middle East who have gotten their problem. It's our problem too. For example, let me say this. Iran controls and supplies about 20% of the world's oil. It may be supplying most of their oil to China, but they still have a tremendous effect on the supply chain of oil in the world. And as such, anything that affects them will indirectly affect the oil economy globally. So what is happening is not something that we can easily discount. It is something that all of us should be concerned about, and to know that it will have repercussions, whether we like it or not, on our economy. First, let me say this. I think that this whole thing was totally uncalled for, was unnecessary, and not needed. The cliche has always been, if it's not broken, you don't fix it. We've managed the perceived troublesome nature of Iran for some time. It's not today. Since the time of the Ayatollah Khomeini in the late 70s, we saw the posture of Iran. Subsequently, all heads of state or presidents of America have used one tactful diplomatic means of managing Iranian threat to world peace. The International Atomic Energy has also had a relationship under President Biden to be able to make sure that the threats of Iranian use of unconventional weapons were minimized, to the extent that there were sanctions, there were moratoriums and things which were placed on Iranian officials, and also with the supply of nuclear or production of nuclear warheads. Various inspections were carried out into their manufacturing plants, and at a time, some of their things were even destroyed. Where we've gotten to in the world, that's the sort of diplomatic stand that the world can take. We've used the United Nations platform to place sanctions on Iran. We've placed sanctions on their oil exports before. All these achieved a measure of control over the threats that Iran posed to the world. I think the decision taken by President Trump, which did not even receive Congress approval, is a bit irrational, and to me, it is
Are we seeing history play out in all of this, right? Because analysts will be quick to point to you that I remember the Bush war on Iraq, right?
Yes.
Where we were told that there were weapons of mass destruction you know, the likes of Colin Powell all speaking on the war, justifying the need for it. You know,
And
US would eventually invade, and we are yet to see these weapons. You'd recall the Afghan war as well, when the, you know, a regime change war, you know, trying to remove the Taliban government from office. 20 years after the war, different administrations from Obama to Trump to Biden.
Another example, Libya.
Power back to the Taliban.
Look at Libya too. So you see, the issue is not just about kinetic, let me say, force, because the world has transcended those conservative means of achieving peace. After all these years of the United Nations, I believe that even if the United Nations have not been able to achieve anything, it has set the ground rules for certain attitudes and behaviors. And as such, what we need to do is to how to make those ground rules more effective and stronger in naming, shaming, and exposing people who have ultra motives in infringing on the sovereignty and jurisdiction of others. When people go into certain areas where they pose threat to international peace and security, we still have to use that diplomatic platform to be able to achieve the results we desire. Because the ultimate objective in the setting up of the United Nations was to make sure that we engage more than use force.
Interesting.
Because of the repercussions that ordinary citizens of countries suffer. For example, look at what is happening in Iran. It was Iran who was attacked. But look at all the other countries who are suffering.
The bases in the Middle East, US bases in the Middle East that are being targeted.
Yesterday I saw a video of people who have gone on holidays and business trips to Dubai. Now they cannot sleep in their hotel rooms, they are sleeping in the bunker. You know, so it is not pleasant. As we said, our vice president, former vice president has gone to
Saudi Arabia
for Umrah, just to go and have a period of play with his maker, Almighty Allah. And now,
your point is
it's not the only person. So many other Ghanaians
are stranded.
There.
But you say the ministry is doing a good job to at least constantly give us. In fact, the Black Queens at the point, you know, are still also having some challenges.
The ministry is doing its best, and let me be frank with you, they are updating us and they are also monitoring. The problem I have is other citizens of the country. You see, one mistake a lot of us do is that when we pick our passport and we sit in a plane and we leave the shores of Ghana, we think that is all. No. Every Ghanaian, wherever you find yourself, should at least immediately introduce yourself to the mission. So that in situations like this, the missions will be able to monitor and to track your movement, advise you what to do, and when it becomes worse, it becomes easier for the mission to be able to target you and evacuate you from.
So they're able to account for you.
Yes.